Today I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make a USB capacitive touch keypad using our new micro-touch USB hardware and a simple film type capacitive touch keypad. This keypad was made using silver conductive ink printed to a thin film, which was then laminated to our 1/16 of an inch thick acrylic graphic overlay. And this graphic overlay was reverse printed so that no matter how much you scratch this top surface, you'll never damage your graphic because it's printed to the other side. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is connect the keypad to the ZIF connector of the PCB. Okay. Then next, we're going to connect the PCB to the USB port. Okay. Now let's load the Fast Touch configuration utility. The first thing we have to do is agree to the licensing agreement. And then we need to choose what hardware we're going to be working with. In this case, we're going to choose the micro-touch USB from the list. Let's choose that. Say OK. Instead of configuring all 16 buttons, we're just going to do the top 4 buttons. The first button is the backspace, the 3, the 2, and the 1. Now, the backspace button is actually connected to channel 1, so we'll click that. The number 3 button is connected to channel 5. The 2 is channel 9, and the number 1 button is connected to channel 13. So once we've selected all the channels we want to work with, we hit save. Okay, so we've got this important note pop up. It says, do not touch the capacitive touch buttons while saving your button configuration details. Now this is because it's going to take some baseline measurements. So when we hit OK, it's going to start doing that. So you just don't want to touch anything or move anything. You want to leave it alone here. Just takes a few seconds, and we've got some baseline readings. All right, now we hit the green arrow and move on. Okay, for this demonstration, we're just going to stick with the basics. We're going to use the default noise filtering method. We're going to hit save. And now we're going to start the tuning. So we're going to hit quick start. Let's move some of this around a little bit here to make it easy to see. Okay, at this point, it's looking for a touch. So we're going to touch the backspace button, and you'll see some readings there. And we'll hit finish. Now it says threshold was found to be 30.8. That was the reading. So if we weren't happy with what we just did, we could easily just hit the redo and start this again. But I think that was good enough, so we're going to proceed. Go to the next channel. Quick start again. Now we're going to touch the 3 button because that's what's connected to channel 5. And you can see that up here, channel 5. And we're good with that, so let's move on. Quick start. Button 2. Finish. Go to the next. Quick start. Now the number 1. Finish. All right, so we just finished the tuning step. Now let's move on to the configuration. So the first thing we get to do is choose the communication method. So we're going to make a USB keypad, so we're going to choose USB. But we could also choose the UART. For this board, we have UART or USB. So we're going to go ahead and click this and say OK. Now this is the fun part. So channel 1 was the backspace. So we have to map channel 1 to the backspace button. So we're going to move down to extra keyboard keys for this. That's where the backspace lives. We're going to scroll down and find it, but you can see there's so many different things like up arrow, you name it, caps lock, whatever you want, we've added it to the configuration utility. So let's choose backspace. Now for channel 5, that was the number 3. We're going to go ahead and use the 3 key on the computer keyboard. Just touch that button. And then channel 9 was button number 2. Do the same thing. Okay, now we're done. We've just mapped all the buttons to USB HID codes. Let's hit save, move on. Now these features actually are not available on this board. This debug LED is not available here, so we're just going to say no. But the Go pins, which stands for general output, this board has 12 Go lines. So we could map any of these buttons to any of these I/O lines to give us I/O control when a button is pressed. But for this demo, we're not going to do that. In another video, I'll show you how that works. And the same thing goes for the feedback mapping. We could map a button press to a piezo buzzer or our audio player. And you could even get tactile feedback with this. But for now, we're just going to say none and hit save and continue. Okay, so now we can save what we've just done to a file. And we're going to call this USB demo. This lets you save all your configuration and tuning values to a file. So if you needed to make several of these boards, of these keypad boards, you only have to do it one time, and then you can go to File, Load, and you can load that same file into many boards. So once you've done that, you can click the Program button. There you go. You've completed the configuration. All right, at this point, we can close the Fast Touch configuration utility. Yep. And we could, let's try it out. So what we can do is load a notepad. And we need to power cycle this to put it into, to take it out of configuration mode and put it into run mode. Okay. And now we just touch the 1 button, 2, 3, and we can hit backspace to delete everything. Look how easy that was. You didn't even have to write a single line of code, and you have a capacitive touch USB keypad ready to go. It's perfect for kiosk applications or anything for that matter. I hope you enjoyed this video, and keep an eye out for future videos from us showing all the different capabilities of these boards.